Hey, y'all, what's blapping? Don the Blaptist, 1/3 of the Watch Me Develop podcast, man. We welcome you to our final episode. This basically will be the final taping that we have for 2022.
Session 22.
This session 22.
Yeah. Session 23, actually.
Oh, session.
Nah, bro, it's session.
Not episode.
Session 22. Really?
It's our 23rd recording.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, man, welcome. Y'all, welcome to History in the Making, man. Hey, look, we started off back in February. We didn't even realize that, we couldn't even see this far into the future, man, but we just blessed and glad that we made it. So, once again, man, this is Don the Blaptist, 1/3 of Watch Me Develop podcast. Welcome you to the episode that we didn't know was going to be here, but we here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Watch Me Develop podcast. Yeah. As usual, I'm here with the other 2/3, my brother from another mother, who's also brother cousin, John Butcher Jr.
What's happening? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy holy days. That's what it is, baby. And then we can't sure enough forget our brother, the inventor of Suisun, California, Mr. Ergo Dog himself, Ergo Leash. In full effect, full patent, fully innovated, fully persuaded, never sedated. My boy, Stephen Joshua Bonds in the building.
Fam?
What's happening, baby?
What's up, fam?
What's poppin'?
Happy to be here. Glad to see y'all, man. It's been a
minute. Glad to be seen, baby. Glad to be seen. Man, dude, so we gotta get caught up. I know the virus hit some of our homes like the last like couple of weeks, and so we missed a taping right after Big Co's episodes. So, dude, there's a lot of stuff that's actually just taking place just since that episode. So, let's get caught up, man. So, what's good? What's been happening?
It's been raining. Hopefully, it didn't flood. That's about it. But not all seriousness. It's been cool. Family got sick. Everybody's like they're taking turns getting sick during this fall, winter slosh of weather, but everybody's better now. Kids are going to have kid cooties, especially with, Mariah being in school.
Got to be more careful.
Definitely taking our multivitamins now. I feel like a child. I take gummy multivitamins every day.
Flintstones.
Hey.
But besides that, just trying to stay healthy, get my vitamin C and zinc and
rest.
Stay healthy.
And the elderberries.
Elderberries. I got elderberry and I got the whatever the stuff is.
The little extract.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like elderberry is like the cod liver oil of this generation. Like,
bruh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah, it is, basically. Elderberry had a super glow up.
Yeah.
Super.
It really did, bro. I wish I had some stock in it. Look, everybody on elderberry these days. But shoot, man, it definitely hit our house. As a matter of fact, I think the episode we had Big Co on, I had that thermos. That was my tea. I have my tea. I have my cough drops. And shoot, I got hit with the flu the next day, and it ran its way all the way through the house. It was like a 2-week process, everybody getting hit. So happy to be out of that. Life has definitely been busy, but good nonetheless. Just trying to figure out a way to finish this year off strong, and just really brainstorming how I'm going to bring the right type of consistency and intentionality into 2023. So yeah, What about you, D Black?
Man, shoot, I've been definitely trying to be more consistent as far as like just ending this year strong, because it's something about the holidays, man. Like everybody wants to like take the foot off the gas, kind of just like, oh, we'll just coast the rest of the year out. And me, I'm like really trying to be intentional not to do so. So like I've been, I've taken on like a couple of different projects, like whether it's with Cali Fresh Prince, I'm doing a few jobs with that. Other thing is like shout out to Ivy. Ivy's about to drop a fire project, his first EP, project ever, man. Super proud of him because he's been working diligently on it over the last year. So dropping Disaster Boy dropping December 30th. So make sure y'all check that out, man, on all platforms. Disaster Boy, IV. So it'll be actually the way that he's actually spelling his name is !V. So it's like upside down I, but it's ! V.
Okay.
And yeah, it's Disaster Boy. But yeah, look for Disaster Boy wherever you stream music. But yeah, man, just been helping him out with that. Shoot, man, just trying to just stay busy, trying to make sure I'm consistent, but at the same time, trying to make sure that I'm balanced, because like shoot, last week was like a super busy week. Like I actually ended up taking an extra shift last Saturday at work because my bread and butter, man, like the thing that I really love when I'm in my element is I like teaching and facilitating groups and stuff like that. So at work, I had an opportunity to do a group, and it was on a weekend. Most people don't like doing the weekends and stuff. So I was like, man, shoot, bet I'll do it. Be some easy money. And so I went and did that. And then Sunday is church, of course. So I'm running the panel for church on Sunday. Monday rolls around. We finished up I go to work, get off work, come here, finish up the last class of EHS. Tuesday, what was Tuesday? I can't remember what Tuesday. Tuesday was more work. Wednesday, same thing. Thursday, same thing. Friday rolls around. I'm doing a interactive intensive for the leaders here at TBCF, and we did that, ran into Saturday. So, and then back to Sunday. So it's just like, it was just a full week. But at the same time, man, I was like, my thing is just being consistent, man. Cherishing and treasuring and valuing consistency over intensity. There is a time where we need to be intense, but it's better to always be consistent. So that's what I've been just trying to do, man. Just maintain my consistency through the end of the year. If I do that, that's a win.
Win.
Dang, bro. That I feel like there's something in that that's gonna hit for me a little bit later, but that's kind of like the underlying echo of what Nadia and I have been talking about at the house. We have a lot of things that we want to do in regards to just cleaning up the way that we're eating, because a lot of people think that, just because you're vegan, you feel me, that means that you eat healthy. And honestly, like, we don't even necessarily, being quote unquote vegan is not our aspiration. That's just like a general umbrella that we sit under. But like, ideally, we'd like to be growing our own vegetables, you feel me, eating what comes about the ground, you know what I mean, as least processed as possible. But the truth of the matter is, her and I both have habits surrounding eating that we came up with prior to even making the decision to stop eating meat and dairy, and those habits still walk with us. You feel me? They haven't died yet, and there's still times where we overeat and when we're still gluttonous. You know what I mean? Like you can be eating a whole bunch of stuff that you feel like is cool, but at the end of the day, if you're overeating, like, you're overeating. It is what it is. That's
interesting you say that, because both of y'all slim, trim, and above the rim.
Right.
Like,
bruh. But the thing about it is, like, we still have, her and I are both like stuck in this place where we both know that we can be so much further along, where we could be so much better. We both feel like we're lying on the cusp of, like, we have good frames to be really, really fit, should we decide to exercise and be consistent in the gym and actually choose to stay with a consistent like meal plan and diet, which is for anybody who wants to be a bodybuilder and wants their body to look a certain type of way. Meal plan is like that's step number one. You know what I mean? It always happens back home in the kitchen. And while I think that's an area of our lives where we may have like an advantage, we haven't taken hold of that advantage and just did the other work, which is the exercise. You know, we've been lacking on that front. So saying that to say, we have little spurts where we go hard, you feel me, for a week. But then it's like there's a backslide that happens.
That's that intensity, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so we just been talking about what is a lifestyle that we know we can maintain and be consistent around everything else we know that we have going on a general day. Like, how can we be consistent in the things that we actually want to pursue and the things we say we want and the things that we say we call a priority? Because I was listening to this post the other day and dude was saying, like, bro, the root word of priority is prior. You feel me? If what you say is a priority doesn't come before the things you actually do, then it's not a priority. You know what I mean? So we're trying to realign our actions with the things we say are a priority.
That's dope. That's crazy.
It's funny you say that. It's like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah, don't be no quarter horse, boy.
Bruh.
Don't be no quarter horse.
For real.
Hey, you know what's funny? So as you were talking about kind of describing you and Nadia's situation, as far as like I said, you guys from the outward, like you look like a hooper, right? For her, she looks like, you know what I'm saying, she could teach a aerobics class or something, like, you know what I'm saying, a dance class or something at the gym. But you were saying it's kind of like you guys know this, right? In the back of your mind, you guys know you kind of already set up kind of with a little genetic advantage, you know what I'm saying, for success in the realm of health. But there's like a some kind of like underlying or undercurrent that kind of like undermines that or whatever and kind of, you know, creeps in.
Yeah.
But it makes me also think about that in terms of people with success in like just life, whether it's business or entrepreneurship or whatever their giftings or their talents are. Like, it seems like it's almost the equivalent of, like, for instance, you got somebody who, I don't know, maybe a singer or an artist, and they know they're talented. Like, you can see you can look at their art, you can look at their work, and you're like, man, you have something special. Like, it's way above average, but yet nobody really knows them. They're not really doing anything with, you know, they're not doing everything they can to get it out there and promote it and get it in the right hands, or they're not putting in the work, so to speak, the hustle. There's no hustle behind it, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent, but there's no hustle behind it. So what do you think it is that kind of keeps people from, you know, taking that extra step to really bring out the potential in you know, I guess pretty much just cause what it is that they do to reach its fullest potential? You know what I'm saying? Tap into the potential of what this thing can become, rather than just kind of like, oh yeah, it is nice. Yeah, I am better than average, but, you know, do you think that's like a kind of like a selfish thing, or is it? Because I've really seen some people who are like really talented and they desire to share their gift with people, but what is it? Is it an insecurity? What do you think it is? What do you think the underlying issue is?
I feel like it's naturally just an insecurity, because I think when people go into something, just like say if you had a talent, you might have a preconceived notion of what success in that talent looks like. So for instance, like if you're an artist or a rapper, you might think that, well, I don't necessarily sound like Josh's music, so then I won't be successful. And Josh is successful, so that must mean that because I'm not like Josh, then I can't be successful. So it kind of becomes a comparison game, rather than, you know, you being able to put out your own original thought and be okay with, you know, in the creative realm, people consuming your art for your art and not your art for being somebody else's art, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, I saw today on TikTok, it was early on. This is when Straight Outta Compton was being produced and being made. And what a lot of people didn't know is they were trying to get Nipsey Hussle to play Snoop Dogg on Straight Outta Compton. And so...
and who'd they go with? Lakeith Washington.
Yeah. So this is what happened, right? So this is what happened. So it's like Cube, and then it's like Cube, Dre, and like the rest of the producers of the movie were like pushing to try to get Nipsey to come in. But of course, you know, they're all LA cats. They got Nipsey's number. They can call him whatever. But Nipsey's not answering because he knows they're trying to get him for this movie. So they call Snoop himself and was like, hey, we need you to connect with Nip, see if he'll do this movie. So Snoop pulls up on him. It's like, hey, what's up, nephew? Talking, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey, I want you to do this movie. Like, I'm giving you the stamp of approval. He's like, and Nipsey kind of responded and said, with all due respect, you know, I love you. You know, I care about you. And this is all out of respect. I can't be you. I want to be myself. Because I'm not going to sit here as a rapper. You know, I know I'm trying to pay you homage. He's like, I'm not going to portray you in this movie because I'll be known as the dude that's like Snoop and not Nipsey Hussle. If that makes sense. And so, like, when I heard that about them, of course, you know, posthumous, you hear about a lot of people and, like, the different things that they did. It kind of made me think, like, even though, like, if I think about it, I look at Nip and I'm like, he kind of reminds me of Snoop a little bit, just kind of like his laid-back demeanor and stuff like that. But the fact that he was able to tell a legend, like, hey, I love you, I care about you, we're, like, not from the same exact place, but, you know, from the same regional area, and yet I want to stand on my own 10 toes and be like, I want to be Nipsey Hussle, not Snoop Dogg.
Bro, that was like a David move. You know what I'm saying? That's like a David move, because, like, you think about it, when David shows up and he's before King Saul and he's like, I'm gonna go out and fight this giant. And he's like, nah, you just a boy. But he's like, since you insist, here, take my armor. And he starts putting his armor on him. He's like, man, it's like, I ain't even gonna hold you up, man. I can't fight in this. Right. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be me. I gotta do my thing. And that's respectable, because I did one of my lives, I think, last week. I talked about how it's important for you to operate basically in your strengths. Like, it's one thing to admire somebody else's their process, admire their formula of how they are able to function and operate and achieve success and be productive. But, like, for instance, I love Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas often talks about, not in a bragging way, but often talks about how he wakes up, he's woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning every day for like the past like 25 years, 30 years. Yeah. And it's like, that's great. And that was part of the incentive for me to get up. And there was a point in time where I was getting up at 3:30 or whatever, but that was for a season where I could do that. Now I'm in a different season where my kids are all over the place. My kids got to do this and they got to be here and they got to be there. And me and my wife have to, you know, maneuver and make arrangements and kind of, you know, make sure that we're not stepping on each other's toes as we do this dance with these kids and make sure things go smoothly. And so my 3 o'clock might be more like 4:30. You know what I'm saying? That I don't become such a stickler where I'm trying to follow somebody else's formula and I end up sabotaging myself. Like, it's almost like me, like, oh, okay, 3 o'clock's it, and that's all there is. That's all there is to it. And I'm gonna just hold myself to an unrealistic standard, right? And so a lot of people mess themselves up that way by trying to, you know, do too much or try and do something that's not even a part of what their assignment is. And so
that's facts. So like Josh, like, you know, I always ask you a million questions about your diet. Like, I think naturally for me, when I think somebody that's vegan, I think healthy. I think intentionally trying to be healthy. But being friends with you, like talking to Nadi, she's like, bro, Oreos are vegan technically. Like, if you really want to talk about it.
They are, yeah, for sure.
The originals or the golden ones? The golden ones,
I think all of them are, all of them. Yeah.
So
Okay.
what would, so
I might go vegan.
Yeah, right.
I'm on an only Oreo diet, strictly Oreos.
But for somebody that's vegan, bro, like what, and how long you been doing it?
I got to be going on like 6 or 7 years.
Okay. Like, what would be an ideal, like, diet and ideal like physical fitness for you? Because to me, I'm like, bro looks like a swimmer, bro looks like a hooper, Nadia's in good shape. Like,
Yeah.
what more do you want?
So,
Right.
so I think that man, bro, it's crazy because so I've been an athlete or was an athlete in high school, right? So fitness for me was always tied to sport. I was always in shape because I was playing sports
Conditioning
year round. You know what I mean? Once sports stopped, so did exercise. I don't like just working out and not working out towards something. That's why the closest I've seen, the best shape I've seen since sports is tying myself to another sport, such as like boxing or Muay Thai or something like that, to where it's like, okay, I can actually use this and there's something practical about it that I can do in my day-to-day life, right? That's pushing me, that's driving me, and I see the improvement and I'm getting better, and I'm still involved in some type of competition. But for me, it would be just a muscular build, where I'm actually moving my body. I don't have to be super buff. Just be able to move my body weight. I used to be able to do like handstands and muscle ups and stuff like that. And I'm nowhere near close to that right now. You feel me? And even knowing like what's required in regards to like when I was training Muay Thai with the homie or even boxing, I know that most people can't even go around in the ring. You know what I mean?
Heck no.
That's why most fights don't even last longer than a minute. So I want to know that if I was to get into it with somebody, that my physical conditioning is to the point to where it's like, no matter who you are, as long as I just dodge your punches for a cool minute and a half, you just gonna tire yourself out, and then I'm gonna beat you up afterwards. You know what I mean? Like I need that heart health, I need that conditioning, I need that muscular endurance, and it's not there. Honestly, a lot of my physical abilities are lying stagnant because I've been lazy. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to chase and race my daughter competitively when she's 16 years old. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm not fighting
remember what happened last time you was out there with 16?
Oh my God. I forgot.
That's a whole nother topic though. That's a whole nother, and I was getting to it even then. You feel me? But I feel like
Both of us.
it's not going to get
Forgot about you too.
it's not going to get easier. You know what I mean? I feel like I need to be fighting for my youth right now. Mm-hmm. If I don't start now, it's just going to get harder. A body in motion stays in motion. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I ain't been using it, you know? So that's what it is for me, even not.
That's true, bro. That's real. Being on the other side of 40 from you, I'm just being honest. It is like that's why I'm so glad. You know what I'm saying? First of all, let me just take a second to say, first off, I'm proud of all of us for just what we've accomplished just the whole time that we've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing minor. We got to celebrate all the wins, no matter how big, how small.
Yeah.
But one of the things I could say, like, that I started, in the midst of us doing this was like I started, making some moves and taking care of my health, right? And being consistent in the gym as far as like, before all I do was just lift, you know what I'm saying? And for me, cardio was lifting more weights faster, right? You know what I'm saying? Lifting weights faster. But I've been at one point this year started getting my butt on the cardio machines, like whether it was throwing my weighted vest and I'm walking on a treadmill at an incline, or if I'm getting on this, I started getting on the stairs to nowhere, right? That's what I call them, the stair mill.
Wow.
With the stairs to nowhere. But I hated it at first, right? But I'm to the point now where it's like my body desires that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't feel right if I don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it hasn't even been like I get on these machines for like hours at a time. It's like 15, 20 minutes here and there. You know what I'm saying? And it's made a difference. And being consistent with it has made even more of a difference. And so, it's definitely gotten to the point, like for instance, like today, I was at the gym this morning and I forgot my sounds, right?
Ooh.
Which sucks. You already know in and of that it sucks. Like,
That boy was listening to Sexy Back.
bro, it wasn't. No, with that man. You know what? Crunch Fitness, y'all need to do something about your music selection, because bro, they got like that weird Hawaiian island music playing, like the that mock Hawaiian reggae music playing, and I'm like, bruh, how y'all got this playing in the gym?
At 5:30 in the morning.
No, let's do it again.
Bruh, yeah, stuff like that, bro. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is going on? So at the end of my workout, I like doing my cardio and stuff at the end of my workout, and so I get on the treadmill and. Bruh, I was like, right when I decided in my mind, that's why I know like the devil was trying to get me discouraged from doing what I was doing. Cause right at the end of my walk, I was like, okay, I'm gonna run, you know what I'm saying, until I complete this lap. So I'm gonna run until I complete this lap. Soon as I get ready to start running, that that song "Cats in the Cradle of the Silver Spoon." Bro, I'm like, bro, why did this song come on? Like that's like one of the most sad, like melancholy songs that you could ever hear. The original song, but it wasn't even the original song. I could have probably withstood the original song, but it was like John Legend remade the song, and I'm like, this is garbage. This is garbage. This is trash. But the thing is that it's become such a habit that I was able to stick through it. I was able to fight through that. Like, even the most irritating, frustrating situation didn't stop me or make me inconsistent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just a matter of you making up in your mind, you know what I'm saying, that, okay, I'm just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a made up mind in order to be able to get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna produce the results that I'm expecting, or the results that I desire. And nothing will be able to stop you from that.
It's a part of being convinced. If you're convinced something to be true, or you have an expectation of something, then you're gonna make the actions to make sure that thing happens. I was messing with a kid in our youth group, and I don't know why we had gotten on this topic. We were all talking about prayer, and he was like, I think Erica may have asked, like, how often do you guys pray each day? Like, and then what do you pray for? And somebody went, well, I pray before I'm driving now, so I pray that I drive to school safely. I was like, I'm happy that you're praying that you're driving to school safely, but are you driving to school safely? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing for you to kind of like, hope and wish and pray. Like, I want to have a better muscular build, or I want to be in better health, but it's like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, that's fine to want to, but then it's like, what are the actions that you're putting in? And like, I think that's part of the challenge too, is like, what I'm not looking forward to is we got T-minus about 2 weeks until we get the New Year's resolution crowd in the gym.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know if that's gonna have to force me to have to get up earlier.
That's why I got the garage. That's why I got the garage ready. The garage is back in full effect, man. Like we cleared. Shout out to Jericho. He cleared all that stuff out, man. Because that was one of the biggest things. Because that's also been something else. Is like I've been mixing up a little bit of my routine too, where I was like, okay, let me go out in the garage and work out and like basically see if I can do this without all the motivation of having all the bells and whistles. Yeah. And so I've been out there getting some good work in, but also going over to the gym. And so that was the thing. And that's another thing I was gonna say too, man, is I've been telling some of the men, because I've been noticing some of the men around here have been like kind of not just looking for accountability in the area of like trying to get their health together, but also just the fellowship that comes along with that, right? And so that was another reason for the motivation of getting the garage together. So actually this coming Saturday is when I'm gonna open the garage back up. And so we'll be in there like around 11. Like I'm probably gonna do at least Saturdays for right now from like 11 to 1 and have some of the guys come over. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? It'll be a mix of like what it used to be, you know what I'm saying? Some circuits, some tire flips, some yoke walks, some farmer carries, some definitely the mitts are gonna be in the mitts, because that's to me that's my favorite form of cardio, like you said. Like that's you tie it to a sport or tie it to something and it's the business.
You know what's the craziest concept to me? And although, Donald, you didn't necessarily play a whole lot of youth sports, I still feel like you still hold the mentality of like getting over the hump kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But like, I feel like, obviously as an adult and then now having kids, you realize how many lessons you learned playing sports and how many tough conversations you had playing sports. And I think when I get in a situation like that, you just reminded me of not only with other men, but like doing with the boys.
Yeah.
It's like how they didn't have the know how to get over the hump or to do something hard or to lift something that they've never lifted up before. Because as soon as you start talking about tires, I'm like, I can guarantee you there are going to be a couple dudes out there that have never even seen that and don't think that they can do it, when in all reality they have everything that they possibly can
Absolutely.
have
Yeah.
to get it done.
Yeah.
And
I
so-
feel like if you're a father, man, you got that you have that in you to where you go like that's the crazy thing is I think that when you become a dad is when you kind of like just there's something that happens to you that you might not be aware of. It's almost like being bit like by a spider, like Spider-Man, right? Peter Parker just knew he got bit. That's all he knew, right? But it wasn't until them webs started flying out that he's like, oh, I can do this.
the glasses,
Right? Yeah. Basically, it's like it's almost like you get a superpower. Like when you become a dad, it's like you get the superpower of like being a grown man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that grown man like comes alive in you, it wakens up in you, and you find out that you're capable. It's almost like because instinctually you know that everything relies on you, and you got to figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out. You got like it's like it wakes that dog up that's in you, and you like, man, it's on me. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't go get it, then my family don't eat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go get it because we all gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? That's basically where you at. And like you said, a lot of dudes, I think they just need to be set up in the right opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They need to be set up in the right situation to where it's like, oh dang, I didn't think I could do that.
I had no idea.
No clue. And it's that demand on the potential thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the things, like for instance, kind of circling back to that thought of why do people that are so talented not really tap into the potential of it? And I think what needs to happen is they need to be placed in more situations where there's a demand that's placed on their potential to pull it out of them. That's why ministry is such a great thing, right? Going to church. A lot of people have discovered their gifts and their talents and their abilities by going to church and serving and finding a place to help.
Right.
And I just think that's what probably what the answer is that is a lot of talented people and gifted people who are kind of like in the shadows or kind of, they act like they're humble, but they're hiding. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they are hungering for a situation that will put a
Fulfillment.
demand on that potential that they have.
Yeah, it's just like you have all this latent, and you just want to bury it. Like the parable of the talents. Like you literally have been given something, even if it's one thing, and it's like, well, because I don't have 5, I'm gonna bury it, or because it's not this, I'm gonna bury it. And it's like, dude, if you put it to work, you don't know what type of like not just generational, but just like fruit is going to bear. Like sometimes the next harvest of fruit is exponential and not just
Right.
1 to 2. It could be 1 to 5. It could be 1 to 10, whatever it might be. Like we've learned this past year, just how much the podcast has had an effect on people. Even with the number of views that we have now, it's like there are people that are either asking, I've heard you mention that you have a podcast. What's the name of the podcast again? Oh, we just found out. Shouts out to Latanya. Who's like, you know the Wallaces? Did you ever get to meet them?
I don't think so.
So they're a family that are here at the church. But anyways, like the fact that, I know she's like binge watching and doing her thing. Like her and her husband are grinders themselves. Like
Yeah.
I swear her and her husband have had like, they Jamaicans. They've had all kinds of businesses, but it's dope to see. But man, it's just like you don't know what'll happen if you just try. Just do it. Just go out there and make it happen. Like I can guarantee you, if there are any dudes that are gonna be watching this episode and go to the spot and go work out and you see that tire, just flip the tire. Like
Just flip it, baby.
Yeah.
It'll be easy.
Yeah. Shoot, I'm gonna keep it a buck. For me, and probably for Nadia too, lack of discipline. a lack of discipline. Some things I feel like I'm disciplined with out of like necessity, like work. You know, I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be there because I gotta be there. I gotta be there to pay the bills. You know. But I feel like there's another aspect to it. Is like to set a routine and follow the routine, to stick to it. Like some of the most disciplined times in my life are where I was forced to have structure, you know? So like when I was working 12-hour shifts in the refinery, I had a little bit of time. I had a small amount of time that was allocated for me. And with that time, I knew what to do with it. Now there's an onslaught of other things that I'm busy with, right? Family, the kids, the dogs. So those things kind of, like, I desperately need discipline and routine in my life. And I can follow something for a couple weeks, but at some point, you know what I mean? Something gets hit. That's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to the things that Nadia and I are saying that we want to prioritize this next year, like, we want to implement it into our daily routine so we make sure that we're hitting the mark. Like, what actions are we taking daily to make sure that we get to the end goal?
Do you like, I feel like we're kind of at the point in our lives, like age-wise, where we start to know ourselves a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you feel like there's something that constantly gets you out of your rhythm as far as, like, general discipline or whatever it might be?
Yeah. I don't want to. All right, so I'm not placing blame.